Hey Outer Worlders, and welcome to the Outer World Workshop. And today we're continuing on the room build. We're building a very, for me, essential part of the room build, since part of my room is a ship, and you cannot fly a ship without a cockpit. So we're starting on a Millennium Falcon inspired cockpit that's going to be also my desk and my TV area. So yeah, let's just get into it. This is going to be a long video, and I might divide it into maybe two or three parts because it's a pretty extensive build. So let's see how I start building my Millennium Falcon inspired cockpit. I'm starting this build with some 3D prints. So I found this Instructables online, and it's from Kyle Gilbert. I think he's also in the Room Builders group. And I want to thank you, Kyle, for these files. I printed out most of the parts that I needed for my Millennium Falcon cockpit dashboard. So that's where I started out. Then I used some cardboard to mock up the cockpit and the form of the dashboard, and then used this cardboard template to make the dashboard out of wood. This bottom part works like a hinge, so I can store my computer underneath and also use the other side for more storage. I'm using this idea from Whitey's Wicked Workshop, and instead of painting the dashboard, I'm using drawer liner to cover the dashboard, and I'm sticking it together with contact cement. I'm using the paper as a barrier so it won't stick to the parts that I don't want to stick, so I can go and work myself up from the bottom to the top and sticking the liner onto the wood. And in the bottom part, the liner also reinforces the hinge part. I marked here with a grease pencil where my parts will go so I can have a reference, and it'll be easier when I start sticking my parts to it. I also started with the TV surround. I used an IKEA wood shelf and cut it to size, and then I made a column for that side all the way to the ceiling. And sorry for the lost footage, I don't have how I built that column, but it's pretty basic, just two sides and the front portions, and it's open in the back. It has some support material which I attached to the wall. Now I'm building a shelf to span that space between the wall and the column that I built so I can put some of my collectibles in there. I made a front frame so I can put some greeblies and maybe screens, and I have a couple ideas for that. And then with EVA foam, I made some Millennium Falcon style pads to decorate the front of the column. I then started preparing the 3D printed parts by sanding them, putting some primer on them, and painting them with different types of metallics and black paint. I use rugged texture paint for the viewfinder to make it look more rubberized. For the lever console, I drew out a template out of paper. Then I cut out the pieces using that template and put it all together. I cut out the holes for the levers, sanded it, and then covered it also with the same drawer liner. It's just like wrapping a present. I gave it extra support with some staples because I ran out of contact cement. I installed the 3D printed lever surrounds using pocket hole screws so they could look more in universe. And then I cut the liner from underneath in between the holes to allow the levers to fit through and also to cover the edges of the wood. I've been practicing a little bit with Fusion 360, so I designed these simple or basic swivel bases for the levers. I used dowels for the levers. I drilled some holes, cut them to size, the lengths that I thought that worked for me, and put them in the swivel bases. These I can glue in, right? But if I ever need to change this out because something breaks, then it's easier to just make a hole and put a screw in, like a tiny screw like that, that gives it a little bit of pressure so it won't come out. So let's do a hole and just screw this in there. So I guess we're stopping the video right here for now because it's a big build like I said in the beginning. And I want to thank you all for being here in the Auto Workshop, watching the videos. If you haven't subscribed already, I invite you to subscribe and hit the like button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I put up the second part of this build. And I want to thank you once again for being here and see you next time when we make something out of this world.